Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I am Jennifer McQueen, and I am here yet again, of course, with Wendy Eklund, founder of Legislation Take Action. We are here talking about opposing Assembly Bill 1316. Tonight, we have the pleasure of having a special guest here to share with us her unique expertise in previously mobilizing over 100 parents in her area to sit down and meet with their local assembly member. Let's say hi to Anastasia Stone.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Anastasia. Thanks for being here with us.
I'm happy to be here.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us just a little bit about yourself?
I'm Anastasia Stone. I live in Assembly District 37, and I have 5 children. They are all homeschooled from high school down to elementary school, and I'm also a full-time birth doula.
Wonderful.
Nice.
I love that, a birth doula. So you have a extremely kind spirit. All right. So let's before we dive into how we are going to organize our large group statewide, let's start on more of an individual scale. What can people be doing right now on an individual basis within their communities?
So we want to start with making sure that you've watched the video of the Assembly Education Committee hearing that happened on Wednesday, and take some notes as to the things that you saw that spoke to you that you want to share with your assembly member. And that video is posted on our Facebook page and also on our website. And then you're also going to want to make sure you're engaging daily and posting to social media with the tags that are on the Facebook page and website to oppose AB 1316. So we will put those in the comments or in the post on this.
Okay, great. I know a lot of people are really, really eager to get moving and have a lot of passion, and we certainly don't want to lose that. All right, so now let's go ahead and break down how we can really effectively unite people all across California to come together with representation from every district.
Well, I guess I'll go with that one, which is I very quickly mobilized in the 37th district and realized, you know what, we've always had trouble mobilizing on a state level. So how do we make that easier? And it wasn't just my idea. It kind of all came together with a bunch of people that had been helping. And it was like, what if we just have a point person in every district to mobilize that district and organize it? And just to do that and to kind of take charge, keep an email list and disperse the information, because we all know different people. And so that's what's huge. And that was kind of even how it worked here when we mobilized, was just reaching out to different people.
And so we've created a grassroots volunteer form that will be posted in the comments and in the thread. And in that, we can take both people that want to volunteer to be that point person and anyone who wants to be supportive and included. So make sure you look for that link as well.
Okay, great. Yeah, we really want people to come forward, volunteer, do what you can. The smallest thing, the biggest thing, anything that you can contribute is super valuable and super appreciated. We can use all hands on deck. All right. So now we have our leads established in each district. Talk to us a little bit about what you see the role of that lead being.
Yeah. So, I'll just tell you what I did, because that's what we're kind of hoping will happen. So I used, most people have like a local homeschool group. Maybe they have a Facebook group. Maybe they have an email server thread. Like we have one of those where there's like a huge reach of people. And you just start by using those things. You post and you say, look, what I did was, we're trying to get a meeting with our assembly member. You need to call and oppose. I shared Wendy's very helpful, easy form letters. Like, here you go. You don't have to do any work. You just fill it in, find your representative and send it off to register your opposition. And you're basically taking information that's kind of already handed to you in a lot of ways, because Wendy does a lot of this stuff, which is so great. And then getting it out to the people in your area. And it really is a networking kind of position, and then really taking the lead on contacting the legislator to get a meeting. So just imagine if 20 people are calling asking for a meeting, then it's really hard to get a meeting. You
Right.
kind of need one person to call and say, I have this big group of parents. We want to meet with you. And that's what you want to do. And then that person can kind of be the person that's asking until you get the meeting.
Right.
Do you want me to share how it happened?
Sure.
Okay. Because it's kind of leading into it. So I've been doing advocacy for at least 6 years, definitely, probably a little bit longer. Not always about charter schools because my kids weren't always school age, which now I realize I'll probably never leave advocating for charter schools after this. But what you want to do when you're reaching out to a legislator is you want to be respectful, but you also want to be firm. And you want to, it can be scary. I totally get nervous, but they are not celebrities.
Right.
They work for you.
Right.
So when you ask for a meeting, you're asking for a meeting and you can say it firmly. I would say my point, like some things that you should do to make sure it's with the assembly member is you'll get offered someone else. You'll get offered staff. You'll get offered, this is an education bill. You'll be offered the education staff. We had very little time, so I was very pushy on my timeline, but I only had a few days. You might have more time right now, so it's okay to wait a little bit longer and not be as pushy, but give them a deadline.
Yeah.
So I would end my messages when I got no phone call back with, I'm so looking forward to you calling me back with my meeting date and time to meet with the parents in your district. And then I would update them on how many parents had contacted me. So when I got to 60, I said, oh, there's 60 parents contacting me. Now there's 80. Now there's 100. Now there's more. So when you do that, again, I had a short timeline. I did get to a place where I said, if he chooses not to meet with us, I will make it public that he chose not to meet with us.
Right. And Anastasia, can we just explain really fast why we had such a short timeline? You were trying to get the meeting prior to the...
Right. We're trying to get the meeting. So my specific assembly member was on the education committee. So we basically had till Tuesday to get the meeting and the information. When was your first post, Wendy? Tuesday, the week before?
A week before. A week before, right.
Yeah, so not very much time because you got to take out the weekend, so you have no weekend days.
Right.
So I immediately called and knew we needed to get a meeting and just kind of pushed for it. And then when you're looking at the meeting, what you want to do is choose a couple of speakers. Not everyone's going to speak. You have everyone sit in solidarity. You have a pre-meeting beforehand to discuss how the meeting will go. And the creative idea we came up with that I don't remember how it came about, but it was a group think effort that I want to give to all of you is to use the reaction key to get to see the kind of broadness so people feel like they have a voice.
Right.
So.
Okay, great. So let's talk about now we have our leads established and, all of our leads, as we talked about, have sort of probably a base already of support, and they're going to rally some other families. They're going to reach out, post positive things on social media of their kids and their learning experiences, and really just start that networking process. So now we're kind of talking about moving on to having that meeting. So you're going to request your meeting, and of course, we always want to have a very certain code of conduct. So we all acknowledge that, yes, we may and most likely will get to a path where we have to strong arm just a bit, but we kind of have a bit of a code of conduct for where we start. So if you could maybe walk us through some strategies when we're at the beginning phases of just starting out to request those meetings. And then once we actually get to those meetings, sort of what is your suggestions, tips, any experience you can share with us on how we should basically ensure that these meetings go as smoothly and as effectively as we can possibly make happen?
Yeah, so no one will be on as short of a time crunch as I was on. So that was a little quick to strong arm, and I wouldn't normally do that. You guys will all have more time. So it would be more like a simple request. We have a large group of parents. We would like to meet with the assembly member on bill AB 1316. You can email it. I actually find it's better to call, ask who the scheduler is, and get in touch with the scheduler first. You can also ask for whoever the staff is on education and add them onto the email as well. That would be another way of kind of just looping everyone in and saying like, hey, we're here, but really do give a deadline. So say, could you please get back to us within 2 days? And they don't have to get back to you with a meeting, but that they're going to work on it. Like kind of set the expectation that you expect a response. And then you work on working out a meeting. Forewarning, you'll likely get about 24 hours notice at the most before your meeting. So be already thinking about what your meeting will be like and warning all of the parents that you're kind of organizing. Hey, we're going to get 24 hours notice most likely. And then we'll have to have a pre-meeting before as well. So some of this stuff will happen kind of fast at the end. Yeah.
And I think it's really important to note that we have to stay on topic. We have to be respectful. We can't get angry. We need to be presenting ourselves as professional and kind. And so we don't want to bring up any other issues. We want to stay on topic with AB 1316. No other issues should be brought forth during this meeting.
Yep.
Yes, I'm really glad you highlighted that. I think it's super important for everybody to remember. We are very focused on AB 1316 here, and we definitely want to stay on target. Yeah. So before we close out, let me ask you two, in all your years of expertise and all of your experience in fighting legislation, what else would you like to impart on us? Is there anything else that we should know before we start heading off and gathering and getting our community going?
Anastasia, I'm gonna let you take that one because they keep hearing me talk at them.
I mean, I would say like it can feel really overwhelming to think about mobilizing the state, and we're really trying to make it like just a very bite-sized thing to do. Yeah. And when we all do that, then it really makes the load light, and then we do mobilize the whole state, and that big thing that seems so insurmountable isn't. Be brave. You are totally capable of doing this. Like, you don't need anybody else. You have all the expertise as a homeschool parent, and you can do it. And I guess I'm just like you can do it. It's okay. Like, you're awesome.
Yes.
Maybe that's my doula coming out.
And that is, I think, a perfect note to close on. So thank you so much again, Anastasia Stone, for joining me and sitting down, and Wendy Eklund. Of course, it is always a pleasure. Please, right there on the bottom of your screen, you see it ticking by. Go ahead and follow on Facebook and Instagram, Legislation Take Action. Also visit that website. You'll see it right down there at the bottom. So jot that down. Visit that website. Stay updated on the Facebook and Instagram. And if you do that, you will have all the information you need. You will get all the updates. It is constantly being updated. So make sure you visit us there. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see everybody soon.